achieve it, they're going to get that goal and everything. But again, we don't want to be operating from our adaptive style for too long.
Okay.
Does that make sense now?
Yeah, it depletes you.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Okay. Any more questions before we move on to our other half of our session?
No.
Okay, great. Let me put this down.
How crazy! It's so it's pretty accurate.
Oh yeah, so that's why it's so important. When I got my assessment, I was like, oh, I need to double down on my my superpower. I need to double down on that.
But like you were already doing that. How funny! That's where we met. We met on Instagram.
I was doing it,
social.
but I was doing it, but I felt like I wasn't
like half-ass.
No, not half-ass, but I wasn't too sure. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah, because it society or like our upbringing tells you that's just a hobby. That's not real, right?
Yeah, exactly. What's going on here?
Are you screen sharing?
I'm can you see anything?
No.
Oh,
Let me go back into the screen sharing thingy. Let's see if it's still on multiple.
Whoa, what happened to my screen? Okay, now you can see me, right? Oh,
no.
Okay. No. Can you see my face though?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just can't see your screen.
Interesting. Let me do it again.
Nope. There it is.
There it is?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Oh my goodness. Sorry.
No problem.
Maybe I should have oh, here we go. It's coming up. Give me just a second. So what did you think of the assessment, Sylvia?
Really accurate. Like it's funny. It's so funny how like it came right at the perfect time when I'm switching over. How crazy,
yeah.
like days, literally days.
That's exactly how I felt when I got this information. I was like, wow, that's
at the 11th hour, 59
yeah,
minutes.
Exactly. Right? Talk about time. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is what I got to do now. Okay, let's see.
So it kind of gives you permission to be you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it gives you it tells you, yo, this is what you should be like focusing. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. I think it's loading, but it's going, right? Is it black right now?
No, it's good. I can see everything.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't see anything on my end.
Well, I mean, it's blank. It says drive.google.com, but I mean, I can see your screen at least. Oh, there's some words loading.
Okay. Oh, so it's going.
Yeah. It's just taking a little bit. It's okay.
Oh, here we go. It came out, right?
Mm-hmm. It's blue.
Great. Man, this thing, wow.
It's being observed. It's in its shadow side.
Yeah.
It's under pressure.
It's under pressure. Seriously. It's in an adaptive style.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because now that I know this, I'm like consciously about being
observing yourself, right? And observing yourself, I would imagine.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, this thing. I don't know. I need to clean my computer, I think. It's just.
Oh, like the slow?
Yeah, it's slow. I think because I have a lot of files.
Oh, you do, yeah. Get a what is it called? The word escapes me. A thing where you can download your files, like an outer drive. Oh my God, I can't believe I don't remember the name. Do you know what I'm saying?
To clean it?
To save your files. A hard drive, an external hard drive.
Okay. Yeah, I have to look into that because I don't know what's going on with this. I think I'm gonna just have to do it with. No, I had to do it with this. Oh, here we go. Got it. Here we go. We could just probably edit all this. Here we go. You can see it now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Screen?
Yes.
Okay. Great. So in this session or in this lesson, we're going to be talking about three things. We're going to be talking about our mind
Mhm.
and how that operates, our paradigm, how that was created, and our self-image. Now, would you agree that everything is mental?
Well, yeah, it's created first in the mind.
Yeah, beautiful. Wow, that's good. Yes, yeah. So everything, it's all about the mind. Everything's about the mind because it's first created in our mind. But here's the beautiful thing. Once you know how the mind works, Sylvia, you can control it. So we need to understand that concept first, that we need to understand that we need to control it. Once you control it, you're able to focus it.
Mm.
And because you can't focus and concentrate on something you don't understand. So this right here, this particular lesson, we're going to learn about the mind, how it works, how we can control it. All right, so we're going to do a little exercise. Sylvia, I want you to think of your car.
Okay.
All right, so what kind of car is it?
It's a white Malibu.
Okay, great, boom. So you see how when I asked you to think of your car, that car came to the screen of your mind?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we think in images. Oh, sorry. We
Mhm.
think in images. If I ask you to think of a fish, I'm gonna say some words and you just kind of just think about it. If you think of a fish, a house, a palm tree, your mom, you see how those images are coming to the screen of your mind?
Mhm.
We think in images. We think, very important to know that we think in images. Now, Sylvia, I want you to think of your mind. What image comes to the screen of your mind? Just like those other images that I was saying, what comes to the screen of your mind when I ask you to think of your mind?
Like a computer.
A
Like
computer?
like on Star Trek at the control panel.
Wow, that's very elaborate. Yeah.
Sophisticated.
Yeah, most people, Sylvia, when I ask them to think of their mind, they think of their brain.
Mhm.
But their brain is not their mind any more than their fingernail is. That's because the mind is the whole body. The body is an expression of the mind. The body is the manifestation of the mind.
Mhm.
You see, we use our brain to think, but the brain itself does not think. So to make that a little clearer, when Albert Einstein died, they took out his brain, but they haven't been able to come out with new theories or new ideas because Albert's not with it.
Mm.
So we know that the brain does not think, but the mind uses the brain to think.
So it's
Another
a
way,
tool. It's a tool.
exactly, it's like a tool. Another way to look at it is like, think of your brain as an electric switch. You use the electric switch to turn the light, but the electric switch itself is not the light.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
good. So no one has ever seen the mind. No one has ever seen the mind. And because when there's no picture of the mind, that leads us to be confused. Why? Because we think in images. We think in images. So we think in images, and if we don't have a picture of the mind, a lot of people think it's a brain. That's what starts the confusion. And when the confusion starts, that's when we start beginning to get stuck. We start watching, like bench watching TV, getting caught up in other people's drama, other people's gossip. So our mind controls our results. Make no mistake about it. Our mind controls the amount of money we earn, our relationships, our eating habits, the way we dress, so on and so forth. Now, if we want to change the results, we have to go to the cause of it. In order to change the result, we have to change what's going on inside of our mind. Why? Because the mind is what produces the results. And then lastly, in order to do that, we're going to need an image of the mind. Why, Sylvia? Because we think in images. We think in images. Okay, any questions here?
No.
Okay, great. So, because we're going to need an image of the mind. Oops. Here it is. Let's take a look at your mind. In 1934, Dr. Thurman Fleet, he was involved in the healing arts and holistic health. And this is what he stated. He stated that the mind is an activity, movement. See, our body is the expression of that movement, but the mind was controlling it, not a thing. That's how we know that the mind is not the brain, because the brain is an actual physical thing. So he said, no one has ever seen the mind. So in order to gain clarity and eliminate confusion, I will create an image we can work with. Voila, there it is. Very, very powerful image as we're gonna break it down. So Sylvia, from here on out, it would be wise to think of your mind as your head and everything from your neck down as your body. Okay. Is that the way it is? Absolutely not. But that's the image we're working with because we think in images. Okay. Now there's two parts to the mind. So you want to think of so you want to put like a line in the middle of your head and think of the top portion of your head as your conscious mind. And then everything from your from the second bottom half of it as your subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind was controlling our body. But a lot of people don't know that, as we're going to get to know that right now. So these two minds, they work independently, but they work together, but they work separately. So our conscious mind, let's take a look at how that operates. Our conscious minds are thinking mind. And whatever we think about, we will become. And I'm gonna share with you why that is. Our conscious mind is also our educated mind. This is where all of education is stored. Now, just because we know something does not mean that we're gonna do it. Knowing and doing are planets apart. So a lot of people have a lot of information, but they're not acting on it because those are two different things. Now, our intellectual mind, this is our intellectual mind. This is also where it's at. It's in our conscious mind. This is right here what separates us from the animal kingdom, from the mineral kingdom, and from the plant kingdom, our intellectual mind. And I'm going to share with you what those are. There's 6 of them. They're called higher faculties. Now, our conscious mind has the ability to choose. You can choose, you can accept or reject anything that I'm saying, or as well what the media is saying, or your neighbor or whoever. You have that ability right now as an adult to accept or reject. Now, key word, adult. Just keep that in mind because I'm going to share something with you right down the line. And then lastly, you have the ability to originate new and improve ideas with your conscious mind. You can literally think of any idea that you want to create. Now let's take a look at your subconscious mind, because this is what's really controlling the power behind it all. Our subconscious mind cannot, remember I said that you become what you think about? This is why. Because your subconscious mind does not have the ability to reject. It must accept. Whatever you're thinking about, you will become it. Because that's how your subconscious mind operates. It just accepts whatever idea you give it, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. It doesn't care. It's immoral. It doesn't care if it's a good or a bad idea. It's gonna operate. Oh, this is beautiful right here. It's important to know, Sylvia, that our subconscious mind doesn't know whether you're just kidding or you're just being sarcastic or you're lying. It takes everything literally. If you say, oh, I can't afford that, or I can't do that, then it's going to say, okay, that subconscious mind program is going to get bigger because it doesn't know the difference. It just takes everything literally. Oh, I can't lose weight. Oh, I can't go to the gym. Oh, I can't eat healthy. Oh, I can't start that business. Well, you're making that subconscious mind program bigger and stronger. And our subconscious mind is not logical. It's illogical. This is why it's so important sometimes to do something that it's illogical. You're like, oh, I don't know why, but it makes sense. I don't know why, but it's not logical. That's your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is logical. And then your subconscious mind, it's your emotional mind. What does that mean? It means that your subconscious mind, the language of it is feeling, is the emotion. That's how you communicate with your subconscious mind, through the feeling. Now, the way to communicate with your conscious mind is through your thinking, your thoughts, your images. That's the language of it. Okay. And in order to manifest anything, it first starts with your thoughts, your ideas, your thinking, or your conscious mind. And then you impress that into your subconscious mind, but then you have to get emotionally involved. So you're thinking about it.
Link them. Okay.
You have to marry the both. So whatever you're thinking about, you have to impress it into your subconscious mind. And remember, whatever you impress, you will express.
Mhm.
So you want to impress that idea or that concept that you want, but remember, it's important to get emotionally involved.
Okay.
Because they have to come together. They have to be married. This has to become a union.
So that glues it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then when you think about it, you get emotionally. That's it's a vibration in your body, and that's it's a signal, and that's what the law of attraction is. You see a lot of people talk about the law of attraction. The law of attraction is a secondary law, and that's where a lot of people miss the first step. What's the first step? The first step is the law of vibration.
Mhm.
The law, you have to be vibrating at it, because like attracts like. So whatever you're vibrating at, that's what you're going to attract to you. So it starts with the vibration. The vibration is the primary law.
Wow. And in order to get a high vibration, because of the work that I do, you have to heal. So you're not going to you may dip up there, you may visit in the high vibration, but you're going to fall back down if you're not healed, because that's why we keep creating shit show upon shit show, because it looks great in the beginning, but then here comes that unhealed inner child to fuck it all up.
Wow. Yeah. That's a I never thought about it like that. To stay in that, say it one more time for the people in the back. So to stay in that high vibration, you have to heal.
You have to heal your inner child, your wounds, whatever they are. Don't stuff down the anger, the sadness, feel it, because that shit's gonna come and haunt you like the ghost of Christmas past and fuck up your new manifestation and be like, surprise, here I am.
Wow.
And it brings you back down, because it's like you're lying about your vibration. You didn't earn it. Get back down here.
Wow.
So you're going to create what you're feeling. And what you're feeling is like shit because you didn't heal it.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I'm
And
trying.
it's not even hard. It's simple. All you have to do is acknowledge the feeling. Like I realized this last night, I think it was last night or early this morning. That's why it's so important to self-reflect too, because even though we do this work, you still have to do it on yourself, right? Like I do it for clients, but like I still have to do it on myself. I'm the guinea pig, and we're a permanent work in progress. You're never gonna like fully be there, but as long as you're willing, right? And I realized, because it's so easy to point the finger outward of like, oh, it's their fault, it's her fault, it's his fault, and like I realized, am I really mad at that person, or at, like the things that I'm labeling towards that person of like disappointment, disgust, like I can't believe you did that, like why didn't you do this, this, and this? And then what I realized, this was huge, and I was like, oh my God, is that I was feeling that way about myself. I was disappointed with myself. I was disgusted with myself. And I'm like, oh, what? And then like, not running away from it, like owning it, of like calling myself out of like, yes, I am disappointed with myself. I am disgusted with myself, because I was judging myself, but it was disguised as me judging the other person. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, there's truth to that. I was, it is, yes, they did fuck up, whatever, but that's a little bit. The big one was me with me. And I'm like, oh, I didn't see that. It was hiding behind my judgment of them, of like, they're a bad person, they're this, they're that. No, me with me. And then saying, you know what? Okay, like talking it out, basically, like you're talking to different versions of yourself and being like, I understand why you're disappointed with yourself. I get it. You want to finish, you want to accomplish, you want to move faster, you want to whatever. And like, we're still going to do it, just get back up, start again. Like, it's okay. And like, there's no rush. It happens when it happens, and it's possible. Like as long as you're willing and you're alive, that's all you need. And like, it could happen overnight. Like, you don't know. Right. And so telling myself that though. It's like I had to give myself a presentation of like, look, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. We're already trying, we're already doing it. It's already begun. And like, then it calmed that judgmental part of myself down, where it was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. So convincing that part of myself, but like, you're not bad for judging me. I love you. And thank you for like keeping an eye on me, because we have something to achieve. And thank you so much for bringing it to my attention, but sit your ass down because it's not your turn anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That reminds me of a concept I heard, Sylvia. It said, everybody is you pushed out.
Yeah. And that's in the manifestation world. You think of people as you pushed out. And like, that's also like the law of one, right? And then like, I have a video on my channel called The Egg. So if you're interested, watch that.
Send me the link.
The Egg is basically a story of a man that dies and he's before the presence of God. And God is telling him, I'm training you to be a baby God like me. And you're learning how to be a God. But in order, it reminds me of like being in the police academy, of like, if you want to carry pepper spray, you have to be pepper sprayed because you have to know what it feels like. If you want to carry a taser, you have to be tased because you have to know what it feels like. You have to take self-defense courses where like everybody kicks your ass. So basically like being jumped into a gang. And like, you have to defend yourself. It doesn't matter if you're a woman. It doesn't matter if you're a man. Like, everybody gets their ass beat. Everybody gets a turn because you have to know what it feels like. And then with, obviously they don't shoot you, but I mean, you know, because heavy as a head that wears the crown, you have to carry these weapons responsibly so that you can wield them responsibly, right?
Maybe they should do the shooting as well.
I know, right? So like, you that way you remember like, oh, that hurts, I don't know if I'm gonna, you know, and you think twice before you do something. So it's really interesting because it's the same concept. And like, you know, kind of like do unto others as you would have them do unto you type of thing, right? And like, so now even when I can like say really mean things, I won't, because I grew up being emotionally and verbally abused, and I'm not going to do that to somebody, even if I can, and I know my words are very powerful, I can really hurt. So I won't do it because I know what it feels like, and I will never inflict that on somebody else. So I bite my tongue and I turn around and I leave, because I'm not going to perpetuate pain. I'm not going to perpetuate hurt because I'm being responsible. It doesn't mean I can't beat the living fuck out of you, because I can, but I won't, because I'm responsible for me, and that's not who I want to be, and that's not the world I want to live in, and that's not what I want to teach my kids, you know?
Yeah, that's how I feel with my words too. I feel like I can hurt someone.
I'm like, ooh, right there. That was the opening right there.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no.
I'm not gonna do it. Wow, yeah. Beautiful. All right, let's finish this slide here. So, it's important to remember, Sylvia, that imagination turns into reality, and this is why, because your subconscious mind cannot determine the difference between that which is real or what is imagined. So if we imagine something over and over, I mean, it's just a matter of time. And then your subconscious mind is connected to universal intelligence. What does that mean? It means that we're connected to the whole. We are a piece of the whole. And I'm just gonna say this because a lot of people ask me, well, what if I don't believe in anything? Well, it's exactly like this. It's like, it doesn't need your conscious permission for it to work. It's like gravity. If you believe in gravity or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you believe in gravity or not. If you jump off a building, I promise you, I guarantee you, you're gonna go down. It doesn't matter if you believe in gravity or not. This here is exactly the same way. Whether you believe in God or a higher power, the universe, whatever, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't require your conscious permission for it to be at play. We are still a piece of the whole.
Kind of like the laws, right? The law of vibration. It doesn't need your permission to exist.
Exactly. Whether we know how it works or not, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's always at play. Yeah, perfect. Now I'm gonna start using that too. I never heard. Yeah, I'm gonna start using that as well. It's like whether you know it, how it works or not, it doesn't matter. It's always at play.
Right.
And in our conscious mind, this is why this image here, Sylvia, is so powerful, because our subconscious mind loves simplicity, and this image is very easy to understand, and anybody can understand this image. So remember this acronym, KISS. It stands for Keep It Simple, Stupid.
You know what? Subconscious mind and the feeling reminds me of like the inner child of like kids, like talking to a child, to the baby you. Like, you have to use certain words when you talk to a small child. Like you have to describe it in a way they can understand.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
And that's why most of, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. What I was gonna say. And then our subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times more powerful than our conscious mind. So this is why a lot of people can say, oh, I'm gonna start a business. Oh, I'm gonna go to the gym. That's a conscious mind concept. It's not a subconscious mind fixed program. So you can say that consciously, but if it's not a subconscious mind fixed concept, it's very hard to happen, because our subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times more powerful than it. And then lastly, we operate 95% of our lives from our subconscious mind programs.
Wow.
So that means that 5% of the time, we are only conscious. So when we're brushing our teeth, when we're walking, when we're washing our hands, when we're driving from A to B, we're not really thinking. All that's on autopilot. 95%. So it's gonna take a lot of conscious awareness if you want to start changing those subconscious mind programs, and they're very powerful. And then lastly, the way that we talked about it briefly, the way that whatever we have in our subconscious mind programs, that sets a vibration in our body, which causes us to take action, which ultimately gives us our results. Any questions, observations, comments?
Yeah, so like it's like they both have to be in agreement. It's like both your feet have to agree to get you to point B, because otherwise if the left foot is like, nah, fuck that, I'm not going, you're not going anywhere. So it's like both of us have to be in agreement, and then you move forward.
Yep. Because what happens, Sylvia, a lot of people are thinking one thing, feeling another, and doing another. They're
scattered.
They're all scattered. All of them need to be congruent.
Yeah.
The thinking, the feeling, and the action. And when you do that, that's when you start creating big things, because now everything's in sync. There's no
alignment.
Yeah.
Alignment. Yeah. Alignment. They're all holding hands and on the same team.
Yep. Yes. Exactly. Okay. Now we're gonna get to know about our paradigm. So this is you as you right now, and then this is you as an infant. Now you right now, you have the ability to reject the information that you're hearing from the radio, other people, your parents, social media, so on and so forth. Why? Because you have reason. Reason is one of our higher faculties. Remember I mentioned that our intellectual mind? Mm-hmm. One of them. What reason does, it gives you the ability to think. So you can think and say, nah, I disagree with what was the news is saying, or your neighbor, or whatever. You have that ability. Now, it's important to remember that a lot of people, Sylvia, they live their life with lack and limitation or scarcity. And you're like, well, why would people live like that? Well, this is why right here, because it all starts when you're an infant. You see, when you're an infant, what's missing? The conscious mind is missing. Okay. So the subconscious mind is wide open. So all that information from the radio, your parents, other people, social media, is going straight into our superpower, our subconscious mind.
Okay.
It's going right into it. And that's what we call a paradigm. Now, what's a paradigm? A paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over habitual behavior. And almost all of our behavior is habitual. So if we want to change our life, we have to change our paradigm. There's no way around it. We have to change our paradigm. And then out of that paradigm, we form a self-image. And what's a self-image? A self-image is how you see yourself. And your self-image controls everything that you do because it's part of your paradigm. And again, if in order to change your life, you must change your paradigm. You have to change your paradigm. Let's take a look at Aristotle, what he said. He said, give me a child until he is 7, and I will show you the man. You see, this information is nothing new. This information has been going on for a long, this guy I think lived like 2,000 years ago. So we know that what he was saying was the paradigm. He's like, give me the child until he's 7, because he knew that once he formed that paradigm, that child was going to be operating his life based on the information that he got from.
Wow. The messaging, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then let's look at an individual here again. The masses, Sylvia, the majority of the people, this is how they live. They live based on using their sensory factors, their touch, taste, smell, hear. That's how they live. They live based on what they're seeing and hearing from what other people are saying, what the media is saying. Because we've been conditioned to live only through our sensory factors. Why? Because we've been programmed as kids to let that outside control the inside. But we don't have to do that because we have an intellectual mind. And this is where I'm going to share with you what that intellectual mind is. There's 6 higher faculties. This is what separates us from all the other kingdoms, the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdom. Our intellectual mind. What are they? It's perception. Perception gives you the ability to see what you want to see. And then will, if you want to be a real professional at anything, you have to learn how to concentrate. Your will. And then imagination. That's what gives you the ability to imagine. You can literally imagine anything you want. You can imagine yourself being in Hawaii, hanging out, drinking some coconut juice. You know, nothing stop us from imagining. And then memory. This is what gives you the ability to remember something. Intuition. That's what gives you the ability to acquire knowledge without reasoning. And lastly, reason. That's what gives you the ability to think. These intellectual factors is what we're going to use to change our paradigm. It's how you use your intellectual mind that's going to determine whether your paradigm is going to leave town or not. So to change our paradigm, this is how we do it, by using our higher faculties.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what? And we're also, to touch on what we were talking about at the beginning, was us being the examples for other people. We're showing them what's possible. We're at tangible evidence. We are being the evidence of what is possible, because how did he do it? How did she do it?
Exactly. We have to go first. We're the leaders, so to speak.
Yeah, like the pioneers.
Pioneers.
Like discovering something new, a new way to think, a new way to perceive, a new way to be.
Yeah.
And even as parents, right? You're a parent now. So
Yeah.
like with my kids, I encourage them to question things and to do the things that I wasn't taught to do, of like speak up if somebody's in trouble, help them, or come tell me and I'll help them, you know?
Yep. Exactly. Yes. So this statement here, I really like, because a lot of people let their current circumstances or situation dictate their outcome. So you want to start thinking into results rather than let the current results control you. So because if you continue to think what you're getting, you're going to continue to get what you've gotten.
Yeah. Switch it up.
Switch it up. You want to start thinking what you want instead of what you don't have. Focus on that, because if you continue to focus on your lack, you're going to continue to get lack.
Yeah.
And we want to start thinking, because when we start thinking, our results automatically improve, because now we're thinking for ourselves. And let's take this quote from Joe Baker. He said, to be able to change your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
So paradigms is beliefs, right?
Yeah. They're just ideas that are fixed in your subconscious mind. They're just beliefs that are in your subconscious mind. But again, remember how powerful your subconscious is?
Yeah.
So if it's a subconscious mind program or belief, I mean, you're not going to just say tomorrow, oh, it's easy for me to earn $1 million a year. No, that's not a subconscious mind program. You have to be working at it. And there's people that probably make $1 million a day. And it's like nothing, but I'm sure it You see, successful people, they don't succeed by accident. It's by default, because now they already fixed their subconscious mind to succeed. So they succeed on purpose because it's a subconscious mind program now. They don't have to consciously think about it. They look at almost like problems as opportunities. They
Yeah.
look at, that's how they look at it. They're like, oh, here's a problem. Oh, here's a business opportunity.
Right.
Yeah. And then when you change your paradigm, you're gonna love. When you change your paradigm, your life changes for the better and forever, and you're gonna love it. We have to change our paradigm.
Because then you're consciously choosing what you actually want, as opposed to whatever.
Whatever they program you with as a child. Now you're actually becoming the director. Now you're becoming the star of your own movie. Now you're becoming the writer of your movie, instead of like living the life or your movie based on what your parents told you, based on the information your teachers or your grandma or whoever.
Yeah, because they can only see through their limitations, right? So if they think it's bad or not possible or scary or dangerous, then that's, you're limiting. It's like putting fences around yourself of like, oh, I can only go up to here because mom said this, and this.
Right, exactly. That's right. So that's how powerful we need to work on changing those beliefs. Like you mentioned, that's a good word to think about. If you can't remember paradigms, is to change that belief in our subconscious mind.
Wow. Well, yeah, your reality is just a set of beliefs that you've had for a while, and sometimes you don't even know if you even believe that anymore. Because I remember thinking that after my divorce, of thinking like, do I even want to be married? Like, was that my dream, or was that like imposed on me, of like it's expected of me to be a mom, to be a wife? And I'm like, do I even like it? Do I even want it? And like having that conversation with yourself of like, did I pick this? Do I want this? Does it serve me? Does it excite me? I mean, no shade to marriage or whatever, but like really have that discussion with yourself of, do you even freaking want to do it?
Yeah. That reminds me of the book, The Four Agreements. Have you read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, how Don Miguel Ruiz talks about, I think he gave like a high number. He said like 98% of our ideas, they're not ours. So like, it reminded me when you said, was that even my idea to get married? Maybe it was your mom's idea to get married, and you put it into your subconscious mind, and now you're operating from your mom's idea about marriage.
Yeah, right? Because I don't even think my mom said it. It's just me of like, oh, this is what it means to be a woman. I just have to repeat the recipe of what she did, but that was a nightmare. And I'm like, no. Why are you copying her? Like, that didn't work out. Don't do that. And like, I didn't want to get married when I got married. He did, but I didn't, because I'm like, I don't need that. Like, yeah, we can have a family and all that, and we can just be together, but like, that paper doesn't have to be there. And like me folding for him, and basically because he wanted it. And like looking back, and like I clearly saw the moment where I betrayed myself and just went along with what he wanted just to make him happy. But then what does Sylvia get? Right. I don't get what I want. I mean, we could have had a discussion and compromise, that would be different, but I didn't do that. I just folded, I caved, and I let him have his way. And then I was mad at myself. But see, then you project and you're angry at him, but like, it was really, whose fault is it really? He didn't put a gun to my head. I agreed. I let it happen. So it's my fault. So like taking responsibility, right, for ourselves, because I think it's so easy to be the victim and so easy to blame, especially being a woman. It's so easy to be like, where, it's like they did this to me, and like, well, you agreed to it though, you allowed it, so whose fault is it? Yeah, it comes down to us. It always comes down to us. The choice, yeah. And like you're saying, the intellectual mind, the power of choice, that's so big, it's so powerful. And people don't realize what a huge superpower that is. The power of yes and no. Yeah, that's right.